reaching out might be a third or fourth step in the process is what I'm pointing to. Like, I'm really curious about, where, as you've seen it and studied it and not participated with it with yourself and for others, like, as for anybody that's listening right now, if they've got something going on in their life that they're questioning about around the health of it, the impact of it, like walk through kind of where somebody's at before they reach out to you, and just give some kind of view of the map, if you will, around some of those decisions and some of those perspectives.
Yeah, that's a really good question, Adrian. And if there's a guy or a woman, listening right now and you're having those thoughts and you're having those doubts and those questions, now is the time to reach out, because it's been my experience. You asked the question, like, and I think the way that I heard is like, what does it take for a guy to reach out? And unfortunately, in 3 years of doing this now, and 1,000+ consultation calls and hundreds of men gone through our program, oftentimes what is the catalyst for that is some form of consequence in their life. Whether it's a consequence within a relationship, a consequence, maybe they've already, wife has separated them, they're sleeping in separate rooms now, or girlfriend found out and now they're separated, or fiance found out and now the engagement is off, or they got caught at work, or so usually it's the consequence that has become the catalyst. So if you're already like aware enough that, hey, maybe there's some unhealthy behaviors, and it doesn't have to be pornography, right? It could be a slew of things. Obviously, we know the big ones, right? Drugs, sex, gambling, alcohol, pornography. Like, those are kind of at the top of the spear. But I wouldn't point at pistachios. But if there's a binge eating of ice cream type of things, like if you're a person, I know people like this in the fitness industry. I spent a decade high level bodybuilding. I have a lot of pro friends. I've know people that walked across the Olympia stage and whatnot. You see a lot of people in the fitness industry, though. These are kind of the 2 day, 2 times a day gym goer, right? They're 3 hours in the gym, and then what you don't know is that same person is eating themselves to sleep every single night with a pint of ice cream. So what could be perceived as like a healthy individual is really using the training as a coping mechanism, because the reality is that they want to sit at home and binge eat on ice cream every night. So if you've already reached that point where it's like you have some awareness that maybe there's some unhealthy behaviors in your life, now is the time to reach out. And it doesn't have to be to a professional. Oftentimes, find somebody in your life that you can entrust in. For men, it's an uncle type of figure, right? It's a bigger brother. Even if you're in your 50s or 60s, find somebody that doesn't have to be older, but more senior in an area of your life that maybe you're struggling with, and just reach out and have the conversation with them. Because if you're not talking about something in your life that you're struggling with, that means that behavior or that thing has power over you, because you're not discussing it. You're thinking about it all the time. And those thoughts are just going to cause guilt, shame, and just this feeling of like, am I worthy? These type of thoughts. So I would say if you're having that awareness already, like, now is the time to talk to somebody, because what I've seen is most times it's the consequences.